Good Sunday afternoon. This is Reverend Pam Geagan from the Center for Spiritual Living, Pleasant Valley in Camarillo, California. Thank you for being with us. Enjoy the service.
Good Sunday, everybody. I'm Reverend Lynn Chaplain Noe with the Center for Spiritual Living, Pleasant Valley in Camarillo, California. We're so happy you're with us. And please, this is a good time for you to start your watch parties so you can share this wonderful service with everyone that you love. And it is going to be a great service today. It's already a great service with, of course, our spiritual leader, Reverend Pamella Geagan, and the assistant minister, of course, is the wonderful Betty Ann Brennan. Buzz Noe has the buzz. He's going to tell us what's happening. Pamela Bailey is here to be the practitioner of the day. Huge morning. We're so happy you're here. Let's start with our vision statement. And our vision at Centers for Spiritual Living is to awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. And the way we do that is teaching and demonstrating spiritual principles for living an abundant and fulfilling life in a welcoming, compassionate community. And we do have our flames of faith. We believe there is one power, one source, and that there are many paths to that source. And by lighting the flames of faith, we honor all religions, Buddhism, Christianity, Hinduism, Judaism, Sufism, and all others that step forward in love. There is that one fine thread that connects all religions, and that thread is love. We are love, we come from love, and we honor our oneness within us all. And now here we go with the next portion, which is Reverend Betty Ann Brennan with her quote for the day.
Good morning. Wrong way. I guess it's good afternoon now. Here are the words for today and for the entire week. I free myself from all thoughts that restrict my life. I choose my desires and goals carefully, knowing that the law of mind responds according to my belief. And to follow that, I'm going to turn it over to our practitioner, Buzz Noe, for the opening treatment. Buzz.
Yes, thank you very much, Reverend Betty Ann. And thank you all for being here with us today. And I'd like to get us started with a brief treatment to bring us into today's great lesson. So, as I say these words in the first person, please make them your own. For I know that right here and right now, in this very exact moment of the continuing evolution of the time-space continuum, there is one source to all that is, one infinite power, one infinite intelligence. We refer to that infinity as God. There is one God, there is one source, and we are here. And I am here, and just being here makes me connected to the one source of all that is, the one source that is God. And I know that from that connection, I have a spiritual connection with everything and everyone on this earth, in this universe. And through that connection, I know that my thoughts, my prayers, my words, my ideas that come forth from my consciousness are going out into this world and creating the life that I am choosing to live here right now. And I know that from that connection and from that source, I am going to learn something about life and how to better lead life from the lesson that's going to be given to us from Reverend Betty Ann and Reverend Pam coming up. And I'm so excited to learn a new way to control what I think, what I feel, and how I act in this world to make this life better for me and everyone else. For I know that as I go forth in this world, motivated primarily by love, by kindness, by giving, by caring, by generosity, these same feelings, attitudes, and commitments that I make to go out into this world are coming back to me tenfold from everyone and everything. And so I choose to continue moving forward in my life with these thoughts in my mind, these motivations for my life. And I know that today's lesson will serve to create a more profound way of looking at how I can do this and the way I can move forward. I thank God for the ability to be aware of this capability that I have to manifest and manufacture what I am doing, what I'm giving, because I am operating here on this planet as God, as me, creating the life that I choose to live. And I release these words of love and oneness and connection to the infinite spiritual connection that is God, the infinite power, the infinite intelligence, and the infinite love that God represents for all of us, knowing that God, with his infinite energy, can take care of the details while I continue to move forward in my life, motivated by love and receiving the joy that life has to give. And so I release these words to the oneness of God to take care of the details. And I thank God once again for all that is. And together we can close by saying as one, and so it is. Thank you very much. And so it is that I want to thank you for listening to our opening prayer. I hope that it showed that we do care. Now it's the 31 of the month, number 1 in this new year, 2021. It's been fairly rainy this week, but today we have sun. So go find some ways to make your day fun. I'm very excited to hear what our reverends will have to say. But for now, here are the announcements for today. At 9 a.m. weekdays on Facebook Live, Reverend Pam's morning meditations will help you to thrive. The theme is spiritual disciplines from the poetic teachings of Rumi. Following these lessons will keep you from feeling gloomy. At 7 p.m. Thursday on Facebook Live is our midweek uplift to help you to thrive. Our title this week is 10 Small Changes That Make the Difference in Your Spiritual Journey. This lesson from Rev Pam will lessen your strife and show you the way to a happier life. Just yesterday was the start of something we can cheer. The new season of nonviolence began right here. It runs till April 4th, that's 64 days. And with it, we can change the world by using peaceful ways. The link to participate is on Constant Contact. You'll learn how to make a peaceful and positive impact. And remember that our center is always here for you, so please let us know what we can do. The spiritual treatment that we provide will lessen your stress and allow you to thrive. You can call and leave a request by the phone or send an email from wherever you roam. And though we're not yet authorized to gather together live, our center is still here to help us all thrive. So please do donate to keep our center going, so we can be here to keep your wellness flowing. And 2 other places where you can lend a hand. Please do give them whatever you can. Ventura County Rescue Mission provides the homeless with much good, and Ventura County Food Share feeds the needy in our hood. A reminder that our center is part of Ralph's Community Contribution Program. A portion of whatever you spend at the store gives our center a small donation or more. So please do sign up or simply renew, and Ralph's will contribute at no cost to you. The center's number is JE859. You can sign up at the store or you can do it online. And another way to help our center for a while is to shop online using Amazon Smile. When you complete your purchase for the items you got, it will donate to our center right on the spot. And coming up Tuesday is Groundhog Day. If he sees his shadow, winter will stay. And that's it for the announcements for this week. I now allow Rev Pam to come on and speak.
Thank you for the allowing, Buzz. The announcements are always great. One of my favorite films, Groundhog Day, it's coming up in my mind. And also knowing that this winter is so beyond all of our expectations right here and right now. So it is my honor now to introduce a film clip from our wonderful Ram Dass, who made his transition, I think, about a year ago, and it's about being fearful. So please enjoy.
The deepest fear that arises out of the sense of separateness, the sense of being yourself, being somebody. That root fear, you're very vulnerable under those conditions because there are huge forces all around you. Forces of love, of hate, of violence, of economic, everything, all of it around you. So that to the extent you're identified with your separateness, it is inevitable that there will be fear. And it'll be fear of this and that, and fear of this, fear that something, fear of hurt, fear of this, fear of that. My suggestion is that instead of responding to each fear specifically, you work on the other part of you, which is the feeling of your connectedness to all things. And let the fear manifest as it manifests. And then you cultivate an ability to just notice it without judging it. The minute you judge it as a failure on your part or something wrong, it is a natural part of your separateness. It's built in. We all have that. Some of us are obsessed by it because our minds focus around it and create around it. But the answer to me is not to try to push away the fear, but to cultivate the other part of yourself that is connected to all things. Because that part of it has no fear, because there's nothing that can happen to it. It can't go anywhere. It's just changing its form all the time. I mean, as you die, your cells change, the energy changes, you turn into something else. You're all still part of the same thing you were part of. It's just the form change. And when you recognize that, there's something in you that balances that fear and makes it different. Because when you sit and look at a fear, you say, well, I can be afraid of physical something, or I can be afraid of social, psychological things. And I guess I've had life experiences, and I think most people have, where something you feared came to pass, and you realized that what came to pass was much less debilitating than the fear of it in the first place. And you kind of keep profiting by that in some way, so that you get so that you see that even as you're frightened, it's really just a trip your head is laying on you. I mean, this is really what meditative practice is about, is learning how to extricate yourself from the web of thought forms that are creating your own suffering. Because the fear is a set of thought forms, is really what it is. It's a way of defining the non-definable in a way that creates an arising of a certain emotion in you. And as you keep learning how to extricate awareness from identifying with thought, you begin to see them arise, exist, pass away. There's a fear, it comes and goes. I think it's very important that one acknowledge one's fear, that one allow it to give it space. I think the acting out is not necessary. It's like anger. I don't think you have to go beat somebody up or beat a pillow or anything, but you have to acknowledge the fact that you're angry. And there are ways of allowing your humanity fully, which includes the fear, because part of it is witnessing, noticing it, allowing it, giving it space, letting it be your humanity and letting it come and go.
Oh, I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that it meant something to you. And now someone who means a lot to me, our lead practitioner, Pamella Bailey, with our treatment for today.
Thank you so much, Reverend Pam. And yes, you mean a lot to me too. Of course, we've known each other for what, 30 years? Something like that?
Yep.
Yes.
I think more.
Could be. In any case, so today is about signs. And as I was thinking about quotes and all, I actually did some queries on the internet, and it was not successful because they were like all these things that weren't the sort of signs I was looking for. I was thinking, gosh, if I want a sign, what I want is I want a sign that tells me very definitely right now what to do. That's what I'm looking for when I'm looking for a sign. And so this was interesting because it's like, well, how do I get a sign? And I know if I pray and treat and look at something, that the answer does come, and it comes within. But sometimes either what I want may not be what Spirit is telling me, or it just really isn't clear in the moment. And there are lots of techniques we can use. You know, there are ones like using a pendulum and asking it the answer. Well, I was looking for a quote like that would say, hey, do it, don't do it now. That's what I was looking for. And I didn't find any of those. However, I remembered that a dear friend of ours used to say, well, if you want the answer to a question, you flip a coin. And the answer is in where you want it, how you want it to turn up. So if you want it to be heads, then that's what you want, and you know what you want very clearly. And then I was looking for other quotes that I liked. That's kind of how I went off on looking for quotes. So sometimes when we're in a quandary, we talk and we talk and we talk. At least I do. I will admit that. So this quote was from Will Rogers, and I loved this one. Never miss a good chance to shut up. Because we do not reach clarity by yammering on. And the last quote that I have, which is a lot more profound, it's from our founder, Ernest Holmes. And he said, we must have a mental equivalent of the thing we desire. And so taking that notion that there is something that we desire, and it's for our higher good and for the higher good of the life that we're living and all the people that we affect. So when we have that mental equivalent, it's powerful. So please join with me in a treatment. And I will be praying in the first person, and please personalize it for yourself. So this moment, as I turn my attention within, I know that there is something within me that knows the answer. I know that there is something within me that is attuned to my highest guidance. I know that within me, there is something that is guiding and that is pulling me toward a greater life, toward more kindness, toward more generosity, toward more creativity, and toward more joy, and to spread that everywhere I go. I was inspired by the final quote from our poet laureate, from our young poet laureate, to be the light. And as I contemplate that, I know that contemplation brings me in to that unity with Spirit. For Spirit is all that there is, everywhere present, all wise, and never makes a mistake. It always, 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 always is the highest and best. It is for harmony, for good, for clarity, for progress, and sometimes for leaving behind that which is complete. So as I today look to this wonderful, beautiful day and look for guidance, look for that sign that says, yes, please do it, or no, you better not. I also know that within me, the answer already is. And so I quiet my mind. I quiet the thing that I'm wanting because of some advertisement that made it look very appealing. And I think, what is the real value here? Where is this going to contribute to the good things, the truly good things in my life, which are friendship and love and creation and all of those things that we as human beings need to have our mental and emotional and spiritual health tuned up. So as I do that, I turn within and I look for the good. I look for that which just resonates and just makes itself known to me right here and right now. And I know that it may be reflected in some external sign, or it may be not reflected in anything externally, because that answer is always within. So as I look around in life, I know that there are invitations calling me forth. There are circumstances that seem to be stopping me, and I'm grateful for those. For those are signs also that I am on a path, I am at choice, and I always have that free will, and I allow spirit to guide me to make the decisions that serve the highest in life, that serve love, that serve light, and that serve God. And knowing that that is so, I am very grateful for all of this, and I release this treatment knowing that it is done. And if you will join me, and we say, and so it is. And now I have the opportunity and great privilege to introduce Nemo Patel and Daniel Namad doing Planting Seeds.
The deepest
I spent a long time running, I never knew then what I know now. That the fruits, they always come in, but you can't go around just knocking them down. It takes a long time to show in. We plant the seeds then, and we look at them now. But the roots are always growing, no matter if I'm there or never around. Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds, nothing It's like your whole life, you've been training for this moment, and when the time comes, you just disown it, meaning you just surrender, don't control it, not interested in the clay pots and mold it, or sitting next to the path trying to unfold it, or waiting for the fruits to fall down toward you, let it go, and now you're flowing, feeling quite gorgeous, so you take steps away instead of towards it. What a rush, feeling freedom with nothing to hold. We've been taught that what you touch will always turn to gold, and now we're learning when we let it go, it overflows with no credit to take, cause no credit is home. A higher power working deeper where the seeds are sowed, and when the seeds are true, then they're seeds of gold. But the real gold is joy when life starts to flow, and when it does, you just smile cause now you know. I spent a long time running, I never knew then what I know now. Let the fruits, they always come in, but you can't go around just knocking them down. It takes a long time to show in. We plant the seeds then, and we look at them now. But the roots are always growing, no matter if I'm there or never around. Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds. Whatever grows will grow. When it grows, it grows. Whatever dies will and when it dies, it dies. Come on. If it works, it works. Whatever flies will let it fly, let it fly. Whatever fails will fail. When it fails, it fails. What's meant to soar will soar. And when it soars, it soars. I am planting seeds. Whatever grows will grow. Let it grow, let it whatever grow. Dies will die. When it dies, it dies. Whatever works will work. And when it works, it works. Whatever flies will fly. Let it fly, let it fly. And nothing more. nothing more.
You know, when you smile, it just helps someone to know that you're cared about and that you love them.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed planting seeds. It's one of my favorites. It makes me happy about when he says the greatest work you can do is to plant under a tree where you'll never see its full growth. So I like that in planting seeds. And now, talking about planting seeds, I introduce our wonderful assistant minister, Reverend Betty Ann Brennan, and we're talking about God, give us a clear sign. Hi, Betty Ann.
Hi.
Hi,
Well,
you're there.
I'm great.
I'm happy to see you always. And I know before we go any further, well, let me just tell you what I'm going for here, because it means a lot to me, is that right now we are in the most widespread spiritual societal change that we've ever experienced already in our lives, and also in our habits and who we are, in our relationships and the culture. And it's shifting right before our eyes. And it was interesting because our engineer producer was just saying how this will be history, the way we're doing the Zoom meeting right now in 3 to 5 years. But mainly the reason that it's changing so rapidly and pushing us, and I'd rather be pulled by faith than pushed by fear. But what's pushing a lot of us right now is that COVID is the mirror reflecting back to humanity of who we really are and what we're being called to show up as. And so the question is not whether we're going to experience sorrow or loss of some sometime. Now we're aware that in this humanity, in this human body, at some time, it's going to happen to us. And so how are we dealing with this? What are the signs that we see that it is not the end of the world, but the beginning of a new awakening to something greater?
Well, I have to share my latest adventure in spirit connection, because it really excited me. You know, part of the story anyway. I was planning a trip to Montana last March when the COVID hit and everybody got locked down. So I had to give up my trip, and the event I was going to was canceled, all that kind of stuff. At that time, I think we thought we'd be a few weeks and then it's all over. Well, it's now almost March, and I'm determined I'm going to go on my trip cross country, whether or no. So with that decided, I figured I should try to get my shots taken care of before March when I was going to go. Well, this last week, I'd been looking on the computer, and here it came. Yes, people over 75 were eligible to get shots. So I went on, and of course, everything was full, no vacancies. And I thought, well, I'll drill down in the days and see if maybe somebody canceled. So I went on one day, no, it was full. I went on another day, and I was streaming down there, no. Suddenly, no disappeared. And there was an opportunity to book my shots, which I did. And that was on Thursday. And I looked a little bit to see if I could find an opening for Ralph, but I gave up on that. So Monday, after having a nice church meeting on Sunday, I went on about 7:30. I woke up early. Lo and behold, there was one day, which was that day, the 25th, but there were like half a dozen openings. And I quickly booked Ralph at 11:45. And by noontime, I had booked his shot. He'd gotten his shot, and it was all over with. And then I heard that they were having a storm. So the storm was going to come in by Thursday and it would be heavy downpours. And I said, I remember standing in the room here saying, no, it can't rain until I get my shot. And if you know anything, the storm stalled up there about in San Luis Obispo for a day before it took off, meaning that there wasn't a downpour when I went to get my shot. And it was a delightful experience. If those things can be delightful. And this nice little girl came out to the car and put the needle in my arm and pulled it out. And when just then it started to rain. I'd gotten my shot. And so much of this, the added bonus was, things have been a little dull and I wanted some excitement. And this was exciting to me. It may be mundane to others, but it was exciting to me. So I'm thrilled to know how life works and that it does work and that I can be bold and even have results come in the weather.
Oh, I love that story. We talked about it and how I think it is that sign from God. It is a sign saying, yes, your desire to see family too. It wasn't just to go to Montana, but I know you have loving family there too that you haven't been able to see for this last year or so, a year and a half now. And that it was your 60th anniversary or 65th?
65th.
65th anniversary, and it's coming up again in April. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And so family was getting ready to celebrate it. And so to me, that is such a pure sign from God. And I think that the more we ask for those signs, and I have one too, is I always thought that that someone would build behind me on the property, and that was it's very costly in California, just the permits alone. I imagine it's costly everywhere, but especially here, just to build a house and have everything. And so next door, just as I was talking to my daughter about building behind me and all the complications with that, next door, the house is open for sale next door, and there's land around it too. And I just thought, now there's a lot of challenges, but with each challenge, her desire gets larger and larger, and it stopped from being, gosh, I want to move next to the land here. It became, no, this is the house she's in is not her forever house. And so in the process of selling that with its challenges and buying this property, she is building and building her spiritual muscle, her spiritual account is growing and day by day. And I know these are microscopic things comparing what we're dealing with today, but I think that these little things that show up for us remind us that we are so much more than a disease that is changing and causing fear in us. And we are so much more, and that we and Mother Nature and life itself is supported by something greater. And we don't even know what that vision is right now or what we're all turning into, but it is not to be fearful, but I believe to again rise higher than before and see the most favorable outcome from all of this.
Well, this whole year on being locked down and all that has given a different perspective. And I've used the time in the opening and all this to really look at what comes, because what we experience, that's the end of our thoughts. Now, where did that come from? What do we want to do from there on? And the awe of saying we're all one, and yet every individual is an individual that can make their own decisions. You want the vaccination, then it's going to be there for you. You don't want it, we've got to make our choices, make them mindfully. And the one thing that is the worst is fear. Some people are afraid if I don't take it. Some people are afraid if I do. There's all sorts of rumors. There's all sorts of things. And we've got to walk through those things, be awake and alert, and watch those signs. And when you see something like what I talked about, that was all within the span of a week. You can see then from desire to fulfillment, and you know that this spirit works. I mean, it's just a foregone conclusion. It's up to you to work with it. And eliminating fear is a big part of it, a really big part of it. Because old Job, remember, he said, what I greatly feared has come upon me. And I think sometimes if we're fearful, we experience it just to know that we can.
Yeah. And you know, what is the big fear? That we're going to lose our loved ones, we're going to lose our own lives. And when we go back to that, this is such a blip in time, and that I think Jesus said, and I can't remember where he said it, he reminded us that God cares even for the grass that is here today and gone tomorrow, and all the more for humans. And so we are here, and we are here for that purpose. And we are here absolutely to shine that light, as Pamela Bailey said so beautifully. You know, we are here to be the light, you know, to not only find the light, but be the light and shine that light into everything as we reach higher. And we remember, I remember now, this is something that was, oh, that's another country, that's another place, or that doesn't affect me. And it was, the last one was AIDS. And I honestly, in South Africa, when it was just so raging, the AIDS epidemic, and how horrible that was. And that too now is dealt with, and people are living just as long as ever from all of that. And so we remember that the signs that are given to us help us to evolve along with our mother, who I think is screaming to come back into the greatest, a higher balance than she's ever been into before. And so all of these things are getting our attention. The signs are all around us, just like the house next door to me, and just like the COVID shots. My kids keep asking me, Mom, you're going to get the shot, right? And yes, I am. I tried to, I'm not 75 yet. And I'm close though. And so, and so I did sign up, and I haven't heard back from them yet, but I'm hoping, knowing that sooner than later, this is going to happen. And just one other thing, it's so interesting to me. This wasn't a sign, but I think that this is going to happen, is my son and daughter-in-law, future daughter-in-law, legal daughter-in-law. It's been a year and a half since they missed their first wedding date, because her family is in Puerto Rico, and because of COVID, everything was canceled. And this wedding, all of the Geagans were coming from the United States, and it was going to be spectacular. And now I think their new date is June 3rd. And I am seeing that we have our shots and we are there, and that Annie, my daughter-in-law, has the wedding she's always dreamed of. And so the sign was, maybe they needed this time. I don't know what would cause that, and why you had to wait a year and a half also to celebrate your 65th wedding anniversary. I know there's something greater happening here, and I don't have all the answers. I just have to be in the flow and allow for the highest good to just flow in and through and as me, but also set my intentions.
It's I couldn't agree more with everything, because actually I was home a lot. I don't think I've gone out for a little bit. And we used to go out almost every day, lunch or do something. And during that time, I felt that the best I could do for everyone concerned was to be as clear in my own mind, as clear in my own life. So I found things to contemplate. I looked at all kinds of different opinions and ideas. And when the happenings came, I analyzed to the best of my ability how spirit was moving through this, because we have only the one power. And that one power is eager to answer us. But the answer is not always what we think. And that's why we've got to look at what's transpiring. What have I been thinking, and what did I receive from that thought? I was Job's daughter when I was young, and Job, he's quite the person for going through lots of things like we go through now. And the main thing that with Job is that he always honored God. And there's one thing in there, at the hand of God shall we not also receive evil? And that's true. God's hand is in everything. And we human beings may cause it evil, but I've found out some of the worst things turn out to be some of the best things, depending on how we have handled it. And, there isn't a soul in the whole world that hasn't been affected by the events of this last year in big ways. And we have to go through time to find out that change within humanity will outpicture. What will that be like? I think it's going to be tremendously wonderful. And I'm already planning to stay around long enough till I see the results in our three-dimensional world.
And I look at the kids today, and we've all had our name, our generations, Gen X, baby boomers. It goes on and on and on, all the different generations. And I always thought they just took like 20-year clumps. No, it depends upon the change of the kids and of society. And so the generations are now bumping up faster than ever. And this is the COVID generation and what they're learning from this. And it's changing them again, changing all of us on that cellular level to expand and evolve. One thing that is for certain, we continue to evolve into something greater and greater. And again, I am choosing to be pulled by faith. I am choosing the faith, knowing that everything is coming in divine right order, and that those times that we have spent alone have been precious to me this time. I am not running here, there, and everywhere. And by the way, I'm tattling. In the beginning, you were going everywhere, and I said, why are you going out? You're not supposed to go out. And I'm glad you settled your bum down. You stayed in. Because every time I called, I'm meeting someone for lunch or something. I thought, what? So anyway, in my small world, I do believe we're religious scientists. We believe in the spirituality and science working together, and there is proof that they go hand in hand all the time. And in this, I believe in the science. I believe in wearing the masks. I believe in social distancing, because the tests they have, whether it's consciousness or not. Some people said, well, if your consciousness doesn't take you there, then you won't get this virus. But I do know people who had that consciousness that have the virus right now as we're speaking. And so I am looking at all of the wisdom, all the sages throughout the ages, and all that it's taken for this medical world, the scientific world, to come together to get us these vaccines. And maybe putting that vaccine in our arm just is like putting makeup on a pig. You're still the pig, but the makeup takes away the look. I mean, maybe it's just saying, okay, now you're okay. But I can't wait for my vaccine, and I admire that you went right ahead. You're the first one I know. There's one other person, and I don't want to tell you who, but there's one other person who has gotten their vaccine, and that was you on top of everything before, and you did not listen to Don't Bother. The everything's lined up. When you went on, I believe all the appointments were taken, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And then you found a cancellation at the last minute, and that was God saying, yes, that's the sign. Yes. This and then Ralph also getting an appointment too, which you didn't get, which he wasn't. You found that one too, which is amazing. So
you think after 65 years, it's kind of dull and boring, but all this time we've spent together has been a lot of fun. We laugh a lot, and we go out and walk around the yard. And occasionally, when we really get stir crazy, we might drive somewhere. It has been a marvelous experience, and the main thing in the experience is experiencing self. here's this thing. How am I going to deal with this? And sometimes we have to deal with it on our own individual level, no matter what anybody else is saying. If we have our own signs as to what it is, that's what it is for you and me.
I agree. And again, they're individual signs and larger signs too. Like when the world becomes more unified, there are moments in time when we've all celebrated with that world coming together. I always think of the Berlin Wall coming down, you know, and at that point in time, Russia becoming more friendly with us and the world coming together in different ways. There have been many, many signs that the world coming together spiritually too. When we do the World Peace Prayer on December 31st, it absolutely goes worldwide, and you just feel that energetic presence flowing in and through and as you. And for myself, I have allowed myself to go deeper, read more. And again, I think that it's not the reading, it's when those ideas just inspire you so much that you take them deep into your soul, into the authentic soul that knows that you are that divine spirit, and it is shining forth in every single way within you. One of my favorite places is, and I live in nature, which is wonderful. I mean, I'm not total nature, but you know, I do have neighbors and everything. But when I'm outside, I feel so connected. That's just who I am. And I feel so connected more with water. And luckily, we live 10 minutes, probably now 20 minutes from the beach, if I'm being honest and not speeding. So 20 minutes from the ocean where I like to walk. And I've been walking and I just feel like Rumi, where I'm at one with everything. I am that ocean in a drop and the drop in the ocean. And I am endless and immortal. And I see everything good. And I just, the more I see that, the more gratitude I have for all of the good I have in my life. And it is so expansive, my good, that it is just takes over. And I find myself not even having to reach for spirituality. I find myself allowing, opening up, and declaring what I would like at the highest for me and all. And it just falls at my feet, Betty Ann. And I always give great thanks for everyone at our center and beyond, and for these Sunday mornings spent together. I think at some point in time, we will realize how precious they are.
Well, all of these events that are occurring are meant to wake us up. And strangely enough, in the 80s, we developed a vision statement to that effect. Awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. And that's what's drawing that spiritual magnificence into the front, into complete consciousness. And it's an exciting time. It's a wonderful time. And I'm going to live every moment to its fullest. So that's the way I did it.
That's wonderful. And again, I always take great pride in that you're with us. You were instrumental in creating that larger vision that has been with the Centers for Spiritual Living forever, awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. And so when I think of those words, I think of being that authentic self, going, and there's no one else with our fingerprint of God that we have. No one else is like us in the world. And so when we bring that authentic spiritual self to the plate, then that is when we can let go of the fear or cling on to the longevity. You know, you could live like grandma, you know, like Methuselah, 800, 900 years, but who said he was happy the whole time? You know, I say, let go, know that the highest and best is being served for self, and that who we really are, that spiritual life, is that life we live right here, right now. And like the grass growing, as Jesus said, we are being honored with each breath we take. The breath of God is breathing us. The joy of God is joying us. The love of God is loving us. And I choose to look at that and cherish these moments where I have been pushed by fear to stay home and things. But always when pushed by fear, I end up being pulled by faith in greater directions. So I can't wait to see how it all comes out with our health, our wealth, our givingness to this planet, to the point of seeing life in its full, colorful beauty in greater ways, seeing all the colors of the world in your world. That's what I'm going for right here and right now. And so COVID will be the door that has opened so many ways of being on this planet in such a short time that we've ever experienced before. What say you?
Well, everybody's in a hurry to get to the next step, and we have to look at it. It's never over. It's just changes from one time to the other. And it's up to each of us to find that secure feeling within, to know that I am indeed in charge. And it happens when we remember who we are. We are God in expression. And that's all it needs.
And
you
so, oh, go ahead, honey. And
and
so
humor.
it is. And we are ready. We are spiritually ready for this next step, no matter what age, what stage, what relationships we're in. We're going to embrace it all and enjoy every single moment, moment by moment by moment. That's my advice. And when you are sad, and there's reasons to be sad from time to time, I am not discounting that one bit. Or young people who are not even allowed to socialize, so unlike them. That is their modus operandi in person to get together. I embrace them, love them, and they're going to be such rich, deeper people than I was when I was a teenager. That's all I can tell you. So, because there's so much more they've been challenged with, so to speak, so that they too are bigger, better, stronger than anybody else that has ever been in all the generations. And so you have anything else you want to say?
Just say I'm excited.
Yay, 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 yay. And so now it is my honor on video to introduce our wonderful Bill Rotella with Morning Star.
Morning star, how I wonder what you are. You make me smile. You're a candle shining in my heart. When you laugh, it feels like sunshine. Come walk with me, put your hand in mine. Life is fine because you're my morning star. Open your eyes, time to meet another day. See the sunlight dancing, feel her kisses up and down your face. There's no hurry, we've got time. Let's sit beneath this morning sky. Life is fine, 'cause you're my morning star. I'm never far from where you are, morning star. never far where you are. Even the angels sleep. I'll be here when the morning comes. Dream your dreams, then wake me with your light, bright as the sun. Wherever you go, love just grows, and I love you more than you could know. Your candle shining in my heart, my morning star. I'm never far where you are, morning star. Yes, life is fine because you're my morning star.
Oh, thank you, Bill Rotella, and also Nima Patel and Daniel Namad for allowing us to use your music. It enhances our programs so much. And now there's someone else who enhances our programs. It's our wonderful Rev Lynn Chaplin-Noe with our offertory and closing treatment.
Great. Your resident enhancer. Thanks, Rev Pam. You know, when we do our offertory, when we're all together in body at the center, very often people hold their offertory, their money or their check, and they hold it to their heart and say these words. So hold your gratitude for this wonderful lesson that we've had today. What a great morning. Hold that gratitude in your heart and repeat this offertory along with me. Together, divine love blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. And that's the way it is. And there are so many other wonderful ways to contribute. And we thank you for watching this service every Sunday. We're so grateful to you. And we miss you in body, but we're grateful for your attendance and for how you contribute. So if you feel you've received value from this experience, please support our ministry with a tax-deductible donation. You can visit our website at www.csl-pleasantvalley.org. We accept PayPal and Zelle. And then, of course, there's the old-fashioned way of snail mail, which is about to come up on the screen. And our mailing address is CSL Pleasant Valley, 221 East Daly Drive, Suite number 1, Camarillo, California, 93010. Our website again, www.csl-pleasantvalley.org. And our email, and we really want to hear from you. If you want to request treatment from our practitioners and our wonderful ministers, and just contribute some of your thoughts, if you want to communicate with us, we are here at cslpleasantvalley@gmail.com. It's all one word, cslpleasantvalley@gmail.com. Now we're going to hear from you, right? I heard you say yes. Thank you. And now let's all just gather all of the wonderful things that we've learned today about accepting guidance, which is what the signs are. And so let's close our eyes, please. Oh, and as I close my eyes, I'm instantly aware of a presence, a loving presence that guides me and always gives me a sign that I'm in the right place at the right time. This presence is divine intelligence, infinite intelligence, love, life itself, God. And I know with absolute certainty, as the divine individualized expression of God, that my life is a continuous expression of all of those qualities that I'm provided through my membership in the royal household. I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. And in this human experience, I give richly of all that I have. I accept guidance. I'm open and receptive to guidance. So this week, as I step forward in my life and I meet people on my pathway, probably on Zoom, probably on the phone, not so much in body, but as I meet people on my pathway, I know that their very presence in my life is a sign that I am a divine, worthy, lovable being, and that I have purpose in this magnificent life. This is good news. And for this good news, I'm very grateful as I step forward in my life today and this week with all the wonderful things I've learned in this service today. I'm grateful. I give Divine Mind permission to take care of the details while I enjoy my beautiful, expressive, divinely guided life. And together we say, and so it is. Reverend Pam, take it away.
Reverend Lynn, I thank you so much for your inclusiveness, how you include all of us out there. That's really lovely. And especially in these times. So now it is my honor. Thank you, sweetheart, so much. It is my honor to thank everybody, and I want everybody to wave that you can. Our wonderful Reverend Betty Ann, our Rev Lynn, yes, elbow, elbow, wrist, wrist. We're still, there's still time for us to be Rose Queens. So anyway, our wonderful Reverend Betty Ann, our Rev Lynn, our wonderful Buzz Noe, and behind the scenes, our Spencer, our producer director, and Ivan Kurolinsky, our Facebook, that does all our Facebook, and our wonderful Marcia Beebe that makes all of this organized and possible. Mwah! See you next week. See you tomorrow morning for meditation, and then Thursday night for spiritual uplift. Mwah! Have a great, 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 great week.